It is Saturday night. We have almost 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament complete. First round games were done on Thursday and Friday. And boy, I will take this one on the chin. My bracket has more red in it than the Stanford Cardinal jersey. My my bracket has more red in it than I think Normandy on D-Day. I think that's how much red my bracket has. It has not gone well at all. Um, Currently in my work office pool, I am 34th out of 36 entries. Feels so great. Only got 23 points. Wonderful. Um, I can't even express how poorly this has gone for me. But there have been incredible games after incredible games. And quite frankly, that's exciting and that's memorable. And that's what I love this time of year. I truly believe this is one of the best times of year for anything and everything. It's wonderful. Um, I'm just gonna bring up and kind of walk through some results that really surprised me and kind of didn't. I'm gonna start off in the East. Currently going on right now on TV, we got Illinois doubling up Duquesne, the Dukes. Illinois is good. Illinois is really good, and I'm gonna get to my favorite matchup for next weekend already. So in the East, it was number one UConn, um, embarrassing Stetson, and that's what number one should do to 16s. And quite frankly, any 16 that competes with the number one should have been the number one to begin with. I said it. Sorry, Purdue fans and Virginia fans. I'm sorry, but I'm not. Um, the first kind of I wish a team would do this. Um, was FAU and Northwestern. I thought FAU, Final Four team last year, so a former regional champ, brought back most of the team. Got an 8 seed, so they were favored. They had won a lot of games during the year, so I thought FAU was definitely going to be a team that could return to a Sweet 16. Well, they were going to face UConn, so get at least to get second game, get to the weekend. Northwestern ran them out the door, a 77-65 win. Northwestern playing one of their best seasons in a long time in the Big Ten, and it showed. They played very, very well, and they got the win. Next was San Diego State and UAB. If UAB would have won, I probably would have just given up entirely, deleted everything, and just became a monk in the Himalayas. Or some I would have been a Sherpa. I have one arm and a leg. I would have been a Sherpa. I would have tried because that would have been embarrassing. But San Diego State came out on top, allowing the 5-12 to be held at bay at this time. Next game was Auburn Yale. Auburn won the SEC title. They won the tournament title. Majority of SEC teams do very well in the tournament. They can win a couple games. Auburn has a very experienced coach. Bruce Pearl is one of the better coaches in collegiate basketball. So this was expected to be a boom, a slam dunk. This should have been an easy pen it in. Yale on a buzzer beater, though. Yale on a buzzer beater. The Ivies advance to the weekend, where they get a really good San Diego State team. Duquesne, the Dukes, and BYU. BYU had a relatively okay season in the Big 12. So, a Big 12 team going up against a lower mid major that probably shouldn't have. They wouldn't. They should be in the NIT, to be honest with you. But the Dukes came out and played very well. They won by 4, and BYU is sent home again, going with the trend that BYU loses in the first round. Now, I need to remember that for next year if BYU gets in, to not pick them in the first round. But then by me not picking them, they'll advance to like the Elite Eight or something crazy. Um, Then I hit a winner, finally. Um, Illinois and Moorhead. Now, I get cute later on in the brackets. I understand that I got cute in the brackets. I get that. That is not where I should have been or what I should have been doing, getting cute in the brackets like that. But this was not a game to where you pick Moorhead State. Plain and simple, and Illinois showed it. They won by 16. It wasn't even close. Wasn't even close. And then the other one that, the first one that kind of punched me in the face is why did I pick Drake? Why did I pick Drake? Why didn't I go with Wazoo? I didn't trust Wazoo. I thought Drake would play very well and they'd win. It's a close game, but Wazoo, Washington State, got the win. So the Cougars advanced to the weekend. And then it was Iowa State against the Jackrabbits. South Dakota State. Love South Dakota State. South Dakota State is one of these lovely colleges. Personal tie to a buddy of mine from high school went to South Dakota State. He's actually a well-known in the media community over in South Dakota. Love the guy. Brendan, you're doing a great job, bud. Keep it up. However, y'all got embarrassed. Y'all got embarrassed at Hilton South is what it's going to be called this weekend. Iowa State got a huge win. And so the game today was Iowa State and Washington State. That was a hard game to watch. My goodness, I'm watching this game and I'm trying to get a sense of who's doing what's happening, which one of these teams can really step up and step out. Thinking Iowa State's gonna get hot early. It turned into another one of these games that I've seen quite a bit of over the tournament, where defenses were hot and defenses caused a lot of turnovers and pushed the ball. A guy gets hot, keeps you in the game. That's it. Iowa State came out on top, so they advance to next week, the Sweet 16, facing the winner of the Duquesne Dukes and the Illinois Fighting Illini. The Fighting Illini are up 22 at half right now in the East. Tomorrow we got two games for sure. We got on True TV, UConn and Northwestern. It's going to be, I think that'll be a better game than people think. It kind of reminds me of an old Duke Indiana game when I was younger, to where Indiana shouldn't have been in the game, but they played well. Duke should have blown them out, but didn't. UConn, number one team in the country, best team in the country, but for some reason, I'm leery on this one. I have them advancing over FAU, but I have them advancing over Northwestern to begin with. So my thoughts are always with the first round game, you miss. It's that second game, that second round game. If you can get the majority of winners in the second round game, you'll have a good bracket ending up because you get more points. And if you have your Final Fours and Elite Eights, you're good. And then we have the second game tomorrow on TBS is Yale and SDSU, the Aztecs and Yale. San Diego State, by far. Let's hop over to the West. A lot of red in this bracket as well. Again, this bracket was busted. And I'll get to that game. I will get to that game. But this bracket is busted. Busted hard. Not busted well. Number one seed was UConn. They trounced Wagner by 28. Again, a 1 over 16 doing what it should have been doing. This wasn't rocket science this year. The number ones this year were just way too good. And we're 2 for 2 on number ones, as we always should be. We had Michigan State and Mississippi State. I went with the better seed, which was Mississippi State, because I didn't think Michigan State really kind of deserved to be in the tournament. They didn't make any noise in the Big Ten. They didn't beat Wisconsin. So, again, I didn't hear much about them. I wasn't following Michigan State that much this year. I felt Sparty was down. They started the year really high. I think they were preseason top 5. And then they just kind of plateaued out. They only won 19 games. So it wasn't like they were like a 24 win team in any regard. But Mississippi State did not show up in that game. 18-point win by Sparty. Um, and then the 5-12 matchup. I cannot begin to elaborate speak so eloquently in regards to this game. I decided this year I was gonna get cute. I don't know why. I'm not a cute guy. Never have been, never will be, and that's okay. But I thought I got cute with McNeese over Gonzaga, with Samford over Kansas. I'll get to that bracket in a minute. I thought St. Mary's, after dominating Gonzaga this year, dominating their conference, that St. Mary's was going to come out and that St. Mary's was going to come out and just do their thing. Grand Canyon University broke my heart. Broke my heart. I don't think I've fully recovered from this. St. Mary's was my Final Four team out of the West. This bracket is gone. Can't get the Final Four right. Can't get the National Championship right. Can't get my Elite Eight right. Sweet 16. Lost points upon points upon points. That one hurt a lot. Just got a result right now. I'm not on the bracket yet, but the hottest team in college basketball, other than Illinois, North Carolina State, 11 seed, already in the Sweet 16. Great for them. Good job, North Carolina State. Congratulations. I think they probably would have beaten Kentucky, to be honest with you, if Oakland wouldn't have won. We're getting ahead of ourselves here. We're going through the bracket and giving you a rundown of what's happened so far in the tournament. I might even touch on some baseball stuff, because the last stream that we had, I mentioned 2 players that need to get signed. I guess you're just going to have to stick around with me for a little bit longer to find out what happened, who signed who, and drop some knowledge on a little Shohei Ohtani drama. Oh me, oh my. Alabama and Chattanooga. I don't know who that was. Who did they play? Charleston. Excuse me. So it was Alabama against Charleston. Again, I got cute thinking a 13 was going to have some fun. Alabama won by 13 and scored 110 points. Alabama played incredibly well, and they're looking at a Sweet 16 bid with a game tomorrow against Grand Canyon University. Clemson, New Mexico. I was back and forth on this one in the beginning, because I did not feel Clemson was doing enough to really move on. They didn't have a great ACC tournament, because it was North Carolina and NC State in the finals. I don't think they didn't make the semifinals, because it was Duke, North Carolina State, and then UConn, Virginia in the semifinals. So they didn't make semifinals of the ACC tournament, and they didn't have a great ACC year to begin with, but they got a 6 seed, so I wasn't sold on them, and 11s beat 6s all the time, except in this one. Clemson came out hot, and they won by 20, and they won by 21. Clemson put ACC on their back and did a good job. Now they face Baylor. Oh, I need to talk about this. This one made me happy. In my office pool at work, I work. Got a job. We all did brackets this year. A homer. I'm guessing she went to college at Colgate. Otherwise, that's the only reason to pick Colgate to win a game, is if you went to college there. 92-67, a 25-point dub for the Baylor Bears. Baylor is always a team that plays very, very well. They have a great defense and they have a good offense. Obviously, they dropped 92 to get them a matchup against ACC ACC foe, Clemson. So Baylor Clemson will be a great game tomorrow. 7-10 Dayton, Nevada. Nevada was up 18 at one point on the Dayton Flyers, and Oh my Lord. I don't think I'd ever been tied to my seat longer, whatever terminology you want to use, than when Dayton made their run. Dayton won by 3, 63 to 60, and I couldn't have been happier. I was so excited. It was wonderful. Now, the sympathetic 15 over 2, there's it happens occasionally. The sympathetic pick was Long Beach State over Arizona. Long Beach State last weekend fired their head coach prior to the conference tournament. So Long Beach State decided we're just going to win the whole dang thing and keep him on as our coach and have him continue with his job. They fired him before the tournament and they said you lose when you lose you're done. You go home, clean out your office, all that stuff. They got routed. Arizona, the Wildcats, big dub. Arizona and Dayton played earlier today, and Arizona, it was a little back and forth early in the first half, probably about midway through second half, probably about 12 minutes left in the second half. Arizona went on a run, and Arizona won by 10. So Arizona's already in Sweet 16, as they should. They are a 2 seed. They've been playing very, very well all year. Opportunities abound now for Arizona to kind of sneak their way to a Elite 8 opportunity, maybe even a Final Four. I think they are a better team than North Carolina. North Carolina doesn't thoroughly scare me as a team because North Carolina State beat them. And the games I've seen, they played Duke both games that I watched them. So a lot of emotion in that game. Baylor and Clemson play tomorrow. It's going to be a great game. Alabama, Grand Canyon play tomorrow as well. Should be a very convincing Alabama win. And then earlier today as well, we had North Carolina going up against Michigan State. Old Sparty and Tom Izzo going up against North Carolina. This is a blue blood matchup if there ever was one. North Carolina, multiple national championships, and Michigan State has been multiple national championships, and they have made multiple Final Fours as well. Sparty, though, was not a factor. And Tom Izzo, ya boy, you're getting old. Saban's gone. Coach K's gone. Izzo is left. North Carolina advances to a Sweet 16 again to where they face the winner of Grand Canyon and Alabama. North Carolina, say hello to the Crimson Tide. I sure know I do. We'll head over to my worst bracket. The bracket of despair is what I'm calling it. The South. Houston is the 1 seed. Again, they did exactly what was expected of Houston, and I couldn't have agreed any more with it. They demolished Longwood. Demolished them by 40. Always take the points with a 1 seed, except UConn. They didn't cover. Nebraska and Texas A&M. This game was I'm going to take a second. I got to respond to the telephone here. Hold on. Live TV. Am I right? Am I right? Live TV. All right. Now let's get back to our bracket here. Pausing for station identification. Welcome back to the Real Deal in Sports. I am Nathan Deal. Everybody knows this. If you've been on my channel before, welcome back. If you're new to the show, we're talking sports. Sports, and more sports. Maybe a little political stuff in there, but most of the time, we're talking sports. So, what we do here is we cover the big things in sports going on today. We talk about topics that are big in the news, that are on ESPN shows, that grab different ideas. We run down, do about 5 to 6 segments a night. We go for about 40, 45 minutes. It really just kind of depends on how we're doing and what we're talking about and what we're doing it for. Um, Tonight, though, it is round 2 of the NCAA tournament. Wanted to wait until a lot of the results were done so I can have more to talk about, which is clear because I'm going through the bracket, highlighting all the games, talking about the games, giving you a little bit of my insights into the games that I've watched and to what kind of stood out, surprised me, my shocks, my awes, and the fact my bracket looks like belongs to the British in 1776. It is coded in red. John Adams would not approve. And speaking of John Adams, it's a great tie-in to the next one I'm getting into. And it is let's get into the brackets. Thank you for pausing for station identification. Having a little bit of fun here on a Saturday night in the great state of land, beer, and cheese. Now, going into the South, Houston did exactly what they were supposed to do. Dropped 40, won by 40, scored 80 points. So a lot of the questions heading in about Houston about this tournament is how are they going to respond after a historically bad game against Iowa State? Iowa State thoroughly embarrassed them in the Big 12 Conference Championship game, allowing Iowa State to get a 2 seed. Houston hung on to a 1 as they've been a top 2 team for the majority of the year. And they proved they are who we thought they were. Denny Green. Nebraska and Texas A&M. I think Nebraska was a sexy pick here for a lot of people. However, I did not go that route. I did not take the 8. I finally went with a 9, and I thought Texas A&M was going to play competitively and it was going to be a good game. 98-83, a 15-point win for A&M, getting them a SEC Big 12 showdown tomorrow night on TNT. So check that out. Houston and Texas A&M on TNT tomorrow night, a Sunday night game, which should be a very good game. Quite honestly, it should be a really good game. A&M has a great offense. Houston has the best defense in the country, arguably the best defense in the country. But now, we talked about John Adams being not a fan of my bracket. Neither would James Madison. Madison would not have been excited. Oh, what a lovely tie. James Madison and Madison, Wisconsin. The Dukes of JMU going up against the Badgers of the Big Ten, a Big Ten title participant. They didn't play very well in that game either. Wisconsin has a history of starting slow, and unfortunately, Wisconsin this year, AJ Storr is their best scorer, but AJ Storr needs to start hot. Max Kleismith can hit a 3. Steven Crowell can hit a 3 if needed. They were able to cut into the lead a few times, but James Madison played one of the most aggressive defenses I think I've seen in a long time until I watched Iowa State Washington State today. James Madison's defense is going to cause a lot of issues for a lot of teams. They caused so many issues, Wisconsin had 10 turnovers before they had 10 points. 10 turnovers before they had 10 points. It was embarrassing to watch. The Dukes won by 11. They kept it at 11 throughout most of the second half. It wasn't a close game. Never felt close. The next game we have is Duke and the Vermont Catamounts. Hello, Vermont. Goodbye, Vermont. Bernie Sanders can't save you today. The Blue Devils did exactly what they did. They finally got hot towards the end of that second half. And it was a 40-40 game at some point. Vermont missed shots, and Duke finally started hitting shots. McGloin and Roach came out. Filikowski only scored 3 points. That cannot happen. Kyle Filikowski is one of the best players in the country. He is a All-American, All-ACC, All-Conference, All-American. He's one of the better players in the country. He cannot play like that. I will say this about Duke. Reinforcements are coming. Cooper Flagg and Con Knuppel are going to be fantastic to watch next year. Con Canoodle from Wisconsin, on Wisconsin, baby. Let's go. He is going to be an exciting player for Duke, and I think Cooper Flagg is going to continue the lineage of Duke players that we all love to hate. Next, we got another bracket busting game to where I should have trusted my instinct but didn't. We already talked about North Carolina State winning their game tonight, but how did they get there by chance? They defeated the Texas Tech Rebels. Texas Tech from the Big 12 was a 6 seed. North Carolina State, the ACC tournament champion, was an 11. The 11s beating the 6s was a common theme this weekend. North Carolina State got a big 13-point win, played very, very well, and translated that tonight to a big win as well. And who did they play tonight out of the 3-14 matchup between Kentucky and Oakland? Oakland, one of their players, got so incredibly hot from beyond the arc, he made 10 threes, tied a tournament record. Oakland won by 4, 80-76. Kentucky gets bounced, and immediately there are questions over the internet regarding Coach Calipari. Is Coach Cal the right person at Kentucky? I believe there's and this is something I can expand upon another day, but when it comes to coaches in the collegiate ranks, Nick Saban left because of the NIL. I know I've talked about it a few times before. The NIL, name and likeness, is going to fundamentally alter college sports. And it has already. Oakland gets a nice, lovely date with North Carolina State. Feel-good matchup of the weekend of the first 2 rounds. North Carolina State, though, in overtime with a big win over Oakland tonight. So that puts North Carolina State already in the Sweet 16. Congratulations to the Wolfpack. They are definitely everybody's darlings of the ball so far this year. So it's going to be very exciting to see come next weekend, come Sweet 16, Elite 8 matchups. Who's getting to the Final Four? Can NC State continue the run that they are on? And will they have an opportunity to face a Marquette, a Houston, for a chance for a Final Four? Now, in the other game, I did very well in the bottom of the bracket. Very well in the south bottom of the bracket. Florida and Colorado. This one, if you took the over, you were running hard because they, over the total points, 100-102. The Buffaloes get the big win over Florida. I did not like Florida's chances to begin with. They lost one of their key players to a broken leg. Colorado played very, very well into their initial game against Virginia. So it was definitely... I had Colorado winning from the beginning. They did. Marquette versus Western Kentucky. It was closer than what you thought. 87-69 was the finals at 18-point win. But Western Kentucky kept it close for a while and Marquette got going. The common theme I'm seeing, and this is why you have to watch the majority of the games. That should have been a made 3. The thing I've been noticing about majority of these games is the better team will keep it close, and then with about 9 minutes left in the game, they will turn it on to a degree that is just unmatched. That is just completely unmatched. And saw it in multiple games of this. Marquette did it again. Marquette did it. Houston did it. Duke did it. So again, these teams that are statistically and traditionally really, really well do very, very, very well. There's a lot of varies there. I'm excited. Marquette got the win, but tomorrow morning, we got ourselves an early game tomorrow, folks. It is on CBS, your central broadcasting station, and that is the Buffaloes versus the Marquette Golden Eagles. They're from Wisconsin, so a little biased once again. Colorado, Marquette. I'm picking Marquette to get to the Sweet 16. Let's check out that Midwest, our last bracket to run through tonight. And then I want to talk about the Shohei Ohtani incident. I want to talk a little baseball. I want to talk Shohei, and I want to talk free agency. Because we still have one pitcher not without a home. And opening day is around the corner. What are we doing? Get this guy in the hill. Get him in the bullpen. Get him throwing. He's a dog. We gotta have him. Um, easy. First game we're gonna talk about. In the Midwest, this is Purdue's bracket. Purdue against Grambling, 28-point win. Purdue and Zach Edey showed up. They showed out. Edey did a 30-20. Hasn't been done since 95. Boom. Purdue gets their confidence going, and they're going to need it. They're facing a Utah State team that is flying underneath the radar. There are really two games to really watch out for. I do believe UConn and Purdue are two of the teams that if they don't show up tomorrow, they are going home tomorrow. UConn won their game. Houston has a very tight matchup against A&M. That's going to be a very defensive game. But if UConn doesn't show up against Northwestern, Northwestern can do what they've been doing lately. Northwestern owns a win over Purdue earlier this season. One of Northwestern's biggest wins of the year, in fact. Evanston was popping. Could hear it in Wisconsin. I think I'm from Wisconsin. I think I mentioned it once or twice. All right. So going down the bracket, Utah State, Purdue is a great game tomorrow. About a 140 game on CBS. Definitely excited to check that out. We had Gonzaga and McNeese State. I grew up in the late 90s, early 2000s. I love Gonzaga. I've picked Gonzaga many years to make it to Final Four and National Championship, so I'm always excited when they play very, very well. I decided that McNeese State, one of the four teams with 30 wins, that they were going to get their 31st win and upset Gonzaga. It was a 12-5. This is before Wisconsin got their butts handed to them, and Grand Canyon getting the win as well over St. Mary's. Gonzaga came out and ran some more. They got a very strong 21-point win over McNeese. That set up today's matchup against Kansas, who, with a little help from an official, got a close win over Samford. This game was close for a minute. I enjoyed watching it. Gonzaga, again, kind of a general theme of the better teams. They keep it close, and then it's a 3 here, a layup here, another 3. And that is a quick 8 points. And then suddenly, they take a tie game, they're up 8. Okay, they get a steal, they're up 10. They're up 8 again, and then hit a 3, they're up 11. And before you know it, they just start to pull away. And Gonzaga did it today, and that really emphasized that ideology to me at that point. Gonzaga moved in a great deal of efficiency today, and it really caused them to do very, very well. Kansas got the win. It's great. But now, we got to talk about something here. We got a game that has yet to start yet. Woo! Gonna have to update this again tomorrow night. But we all know we're gonna get on here tomorrow night on Sunday night. We are on vacation from work. Your boy is on vacation. We are doing some big things over this next week here at the Real Deal in Sports, and we are taking this opportunity to really get better and to enjoy this opportunity getting on camera and putting ourselves on the internet. Super scary, super weird, whatever. Let's have some fun with it. All right, we got the next game. The matchup here was a 6-11, and this was a lot of fun. Everybody keeps talking about these 6-11 matchups. This was another one. The 6 was South Carolina. Picked to finish like second to last, third to last in the SEC, and they come out and they had a great season. SEC did very well in regular season, had a great tournament. They met a buzzsaw, the Pac-12 buzzsaw, the Oregon Ducks. Quack, quack, fly away, Ducks. Oregon came out hot, 87-73, big win. They are playing tonight, should have tipped off already, or will be tipping off at any point, against the 3-14. This was an easy one for me. I waffled a little bit. I went back and forth on it because I thought Akron coming in, Creighton might have a down game. Creighton's Big East now. They could take a step back in the first game of the tournament with a little bit of opportunity to do better or an opportunity to play the game. What is Creighton going to do in this game? And Creighton came out, played very well, won by 17. They are tipping off against Oregon right now on the Turner Broadcasting on TBS. So make sure, get opportunities tonight. Check out some basketball. Check out Oregon and Creighton. Pac-12 going up against the Big East. In our last couple games here in the bracket, Colorado State going up against Texas. Colorado State shut down Virginia, and Virginia went like a whole hour without scoring a point. Like a whole real-life hour without scoring a point. Not good. But Texas played a little bit better and got a 10-point win, 12-point win over Colorado State. And now they are on CBS right now. Check it out. They're going up against Tennessee, the number 2 seed. They handled St. Peter's. That was another 15-2 that, like, if you wanted to be cute and be like, I'm a bit. Tennessee has played very well this year. The 1s and 2s this year, though, had really played up to their ranking. And it's something that was mentioned. I caught a graphic earlier today that there are more upsets this year than last year. I think there was 8 this year and only 3 last year. So it's really something to consider is with the quality of basketball. Is there starting to be a little bit of separation because of the transfer portal and the NIL? Is that allowing teams to continue to get better consistently year after year instead of having these rebuilds, which allows teams to play at a closer level? Is it allowing a team like Kansas, who had one of the better transfer portal signings in Hunter Dickinson, an All-American from Michigan, on their team, and their best player was an All-Conference player from Texas A&M last year? So there's opportunity there. Tennessee and Texas winner. I think Tennessee's going to get the win. They're up 7 right now. I have Creighton coming out over Oregon tonight. Am I going to be awake for that one? I don't know. It's 9:15 right now. We've been online for 37 minutes. Thank you, everybody, for checking us out. This is The Real Deal in Sports. As always, I like to give a little rundown of who I am, why am I here, and what are we doing tonight. I'm Nathan Deal. I'll say that about 30 more thousand times because I have a problem with repeating myself. I'm a student at Full Sail University. I'm in their sports broadcasting program, and what I like to do is talk sports, hence sports broadcasting. I work for a radio company in Wisconsin. We own about 20 radio stations throughout the state, so this is an opportunity for me to practice and potentially show this to my program director. Hi, Catherine. The opportunity to potentially turn this into something more official-ish, as opposed to in my bedroom. That's my window. My TV's over yonder. We are watching this game. 67-40, Illinois up over the Dukes of Duquesne. 13-13 remaining. Hard to the basket. Terrence Jones with a nice lefty put in at the rim. Luke Goody is checking in number 10. As we get ready for a free throw for Terrence Jones, number 0. I'm going to use a moment here to hate on another number 0. Gilbert Arenas. Terrence Shannon. Terrence Shannon is the real Agent 0, not Gilbert Arenas. Facts over fiction. It's definitely something that I believe I fully expected Illinois to play this well. Marcus Damask is from Wisconsin. He's from Waupun. Hello, Wisconsin. What is up? He had a triple-double in their first round victory. You get the rebound. Kick it out. Oh, nice. Around the end with a lefty lay-in. Great job by 4-2. Way to go. Illinois is up 30 with 12 and a half to go and another turnover by the Dukes. It is very unfortunate, honestly. It is very unfortunate that Illinois is playing so well and they have to play Iowa State. I would have really preferred these two teams to be separated. I cannot believe that Iowa State and Illinois are in the same bracket, are in the same region. If they would have been in separate regions, I'd be a very happy. I would have had them in the finals against each other, an all eye matchup, because they are two teams that are playing very, very well right now. Illinois' offense is just way too good. Oh wait, hold on. Pausing for station identification. How did you take the by doing this? So the other night I hopped on a stream and I kind of ranted and raved a little bit regarding Major League Baseball and their excruciatingly painful offseason of free agent signings and the lack of Blake Snell getting signed. While I was on the stream and arguing about this and ranting and raving, because that's, yeah, we do that sometimes here, late night talk show, late night talk sports. We're going to rant and rave a little bit. The San Francisco Giants decided completely that they agreed with me. It's a 2-year deal, $60 million, 30 million a year. Wonderful. The other individual that I mentioned was JD Martinez, RBI machine, JD Martinez. The Mets have signed JD Martinez to a 1-year, $12 million deal. That happened, folks. I called it out. But we're going to do it again tonight. Because quite frankly, there's somebody else who needs a job. Not your boy. I got a job. I ain't going to talk personal stuff on here because this isn't personal. Why? It's nothing personal. It's all the real deal in right there. Sports. See that? Yeah. I'm trying to get better at that. I just want to go like that, but it's camera's flipped. We're talking sports. Sports and more sports. Jordan Montgomery needs a job. Will any major league team please step up? Please step up. $18 million a year will get you a solid number 3, borderline number 2 pitcher who has big game experience, who's pitched in a World Series, who's won World Series games, who's won playoff games, and led a team down that track. He is a very, very good pitcher, and he deserves a better offseason than this. $19 million a year gets you Jordan Montgomery. If you want to sign him for 32, go ahead. Where are you at, Seattle? Sign him. Minnesota Twins, where you at? Like, why not? Jed Hoyer, I know you're not listening because you have better things to do on a Saturday night than to listen and watch The Real Deal in Sports. But Jed Hoyer, if you are listening, I pray to God that you are. I might tag you in the next video just so you can watch this. Sign Jordan Montgomery. All I'm asking. I'm not asking much. I'm not asking for a lot. Sign Jordan Montgomery. It's not that hard to do. Something insanely huge is going on with the Dodgers and going on in professional baseball. Something this big hasn't been talked about or done, essentially, since Pete Rose in the 80s, where Rose was handed a lifetime ban by Commissioner Giamatti, yes, says Paul Giamatti's father. This has not happened in a long time. I read the information, I read the story, and I'm still blown away by it. Shohei Ohtani's interpreter was fired for stealing. But now it is believed to have been a cover-up for Shohei's betting. And the information I read was there was a few games that really stood out to where there was a bet placed with a bookie in Japan, big money, a couple $1 million, regarding Shohei's over on runs given, under on strikeout, things like that. Over under is very prop betty, and prop betty you can put a leg parlay up, 7-8 legs that you can manipulate a little bit by runs, wins, runs, innings pitched, strikeouts, things like that. to where you put a couple $1 million down and it's a pretty big, it can be a pretty big win if all those hits. And if you look at some of the games and performances of Shohei Ohtani, it does correlate a little bit, corroborate this article just a little bit. It puts a big chink in the armor, a big gash in this persona of Shohei Ohtani. This is a guy who broke a record for the largest contract in MLB history, but turned around, and now this is the part that now is starting to make a lot of sense. Shohei has a gambling problem. So instead of taking $50 million a year, he's like, no, 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 no. I only want $2 million a year, so that I can do so XYZ. So then when he's out of baseball, he can get his fat paychecks and gamble his money away. Gambling is a serious issue, and I don't take any excitement in people struggling with a gambling addiction. If people have addiction or any type of addiction, there is help, and you are not alone. Plain and simple. You are not alone. There are individuals, there are organizations here to help you. There are plenty of materials out there. I should probably have a little PSA ready to go talking about gambling and making sure you get the help that you need. I talked about gambling before, and what I will say, never bet more than you can afford. Never go above your means in trying to bet. If you can only bet 50, bet 10. Don't bet more than you need to. That's all I have to say about gambling and betting. But this could be one of the biggest issues that we could come across in a very, very long time, and I don't understand why we're not talking about it more. It's almost like it's being quiet. It's very quiet. There was the conversation about Trevor Bauer and the incident he had with the woman who was trying to extort him, and now it comes out that she was going to extort him because he just signed a bag, and there are text conversations that she was having regarding this. Now, does that put Trevor Bauer back in Major League Baseball's good graces? Nope. Does that put an onus on personal, how far does Major League Baseball go in governing personal conduct, off personal time conduct? How far does that really go? And I think that's a bigger conversation to be had within sports, is we hold athletes to a higher standard than anything else, because it's like, oh, they mess up once, and it's a situation to where it's hard to rebound for them. They can do a million things great, and then one thing they do wrong. But it does it does say something to the old adage. A reputation takes um reputation takes 1,000 years to build, but 2 seconds to destroy. I think this really shatters, if everything they're saying about Shohei is true, and it is confirmed, it is correct that he was betting on games and he was throwing games to enrich himself or enrich others around him. Because of this, I believe that he should face a lifetime ban. It is not a difficult thing to process and a difficult thing to do. You can't gamble, you can't bet on professional baseball while you're a professional baseball player. It's the rules, has been the rules now, then, and forever. That is, simply put, you cannot gamble. There are issues within college basketball, NBA. We've seen the lasting effects of gambling within organizations. College baseball had a little blip in the radar about a coach, and a coach got fired from, I think, LSU or something. Alabama. There was a game, and then the sportsbook noticed irregularity in the betting, so it got word to where it needed to go. I believe that sports betting in general, is starting to consume the masses more than it ever has been. Now, in regards to that, sports betting's been around for billions of years. Going back to the early 1900s, the Black Sox scandal, which again, there was conversations regarding gambling, but there was never anything proven about Joe Jackson or a lot of the other players who were missing a ground ball, losing a game on purpose. Back then, the games were best of 9. Imagine even playing 9 games to win a championship. Now they play 7. 75-47, 10 minutes to go. Illinois is incredible. Wow. Nice. 7-5. Gotta shoot, bud. That was not. I'm talking about how great Illinois is, and then they literally just played like absolute garbage. That would have been a huge shot for Duquesne, but they did not. It's been 50 minutes here on the stream at the Real Deal in Sports. What's the deal? What's the deal that we're going to talk about tonight? Really just want to talk about college basketball tonight and kind of get my thoughts on brackets and really explain to the world how my bracket is absolutely horrible. That my picking of brackets is probably the worst since Nostradamus incorrectly predicted the fall of the world in 2012. Did not do well, ladies and gentlemen, and that's okay. Time to. We got a big slate of games tomorrow, heading into Sweet 16. I really want to get those matchups of Sweet 16 and kind of break them down tomorrow night. So I think that's going to be a majority of the focus on tomorrow's stream on the Real Deal in Sports. I will be talking about that, and I'll probably have a what's the deal in regards to something in the news. I might dive a little bit deeper into NFL free agency to see who's left, who's available, what we can do, what can be done, what can happen to where we can grow from it. I'm going to post a new little video here. I'm going to do this again because we got a new thing to do. We got to put a blog up. I'm going to start blogging a little bit, adding another element to the Real Deal in Sports. As always, check us out. We're on Twitch, the TRDS show. Hit us up. YouTube, the Real Deal in Sports, all written out. Make sure you search that. Check out the past videos so we can talk about it. Email, realdealinsports@gmail. I have yet to check it, actually. I should probably do that tonight. And then on X, the TRDS show, getting some more followers out there, posting a little bit. Might do a little bit more posting regarding sports in general and just kind of putting down some thoughts and ideas. I might be redirecting a lot of my blog posts to there as well and put that just in my links and stuff. Feel free to continue to support the channel and support what we're trying to build here. Very organically. I'm not buying anything. I'm not doing anything extraordinary for this. We're just having fun and talking sports. As always, thank you, and make sure you have a good time.